Derek, how do you reflect on that this evening?
I thought the way we started the game was exactly how we needed to. I thought last week was really harsh on us, and I reminded the players that all week really. And part of the team talk today was the fact that we've lost over there to a bad decision and a last-minute goal really, where we could have defended a corner better. But between that, there wasn't a lot that they troubled us with, and it was up to us to try and get that first goal, just to plant the seed of doubt. Wanted to make it extremely difficult for them, and I thought we did all of that. We had a few things bobbling about, and maybe get the second goal in our strongest period of the game. That has to be said. Kieran makes a couple of really good saves, because on transitions they've got the composure, intelligence, the quality to hurt you. But we had to be brave. We didn't want to come off it. And in the first half, where they try and knit their game together, it was our spaces were good, our distances were good. It allowed us to get the ball turned over. Enough encouragement for the fans and the players to think that they just might get something for the game. So it was a brave performance in that sense. We could still search for a bit more quality, and when we win the ball back, can we go and look after that second pass? But it was enough. The way the first half played out was exactly how I would have hoped, to be honest. And we spoke at half time about trying to kind of go again. I think half time they've come out a wee bit different. They played more of a false nine with Klassen dropping right in and giving them a wee bit more of an overload, which in turn spooked us a wee bit with the press. I think the first 5-10 minutes of the second half we were okay, but you have to say for 55 minutes to 70 minutes I thought they were a better team, and we couldn't really get up the pitch, and the energy levels kind of dipped to us a wee bit. We're just thinking of trying to get our changes on. Want to try and be positive with the subs, and obviously get their goal. And the goal comes from, again, a longer pass, because such was the commitment for the press. Then you're a wee bit susceptible to that type. It was an 80-yard ball through the air, and it leaves us 1v1, and we dealt with that quite a lot throughout the game. But in this instance, they're good enough to get the cross in, and Lewis can't sort his feet out in time, and it was a real blow for us, a lift for them at the right time in the game for them, and from that point in it was going to be extremely difficult. I wanted us to win this game. Were we going to be good enough to win the tie? That was the question. I thought we were good enough to win the game, and I believed that if we could get a bit of momentum and be the right side of a bit of fortune, as they were last week, then we could have got through this. But we have to acknowledge the level of team that we're playing against. They're full internationals right through their team. They're trading in millions and millions of euros in terms of the valuation of their players. So there's absolutely no shame. I said to the players prior to the game, go and have a go at it, just back yourselves. There would be no criticism for me, regardless of the outcome. And it's just great that we are got this type of fixture. Don't want to go all romantic and dreamy on it, because I want us to be here, and we should now expect to try and replicate this more often. The way the fans treated the players at the end was exactly how it should have been. It was a real nod to the fans for that. Can't thank them enough, because we're all disappointed. There's been a lot of money spent travelling, watching us in Europe, and there's been a generation of fans now have been able to see the club play in Europe, and having spoke to plenty of fans over the last wee while, I know how important that is. So, and the way the players were acknowledged by the fans at the end, the way the players acknowledged the support, is exactly how I want this club to be. We all need to stick together. We need to knuckle down now and get back, hopefully domestically, to some getting some wins and building a bit of momentum, and really get my season going domestically, because we've been up against it all these Sundays. And it's important that we go into the break hopefully on a positive result on Sunday.
Now these European games are over, is pride the overriding emotion around the club?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's hopefully it kind of pokes the ambition of the club as well. You know what I mean? It's certainly something that was I spoke to when I first spoke to the club about, trying to be the team that can maybe regularly be top six, and in turn, if you're top six, then you're never too far away for Europe. I think young and old, from the senior players, a lot of them who haven't played in Europe before, I think it's a great learning experience. For the younger ones, Bobby Wells, Davy Watsons, these boys who have been part of this now, and but it should whet their appetite to be part of it again. So there is pride, but it's the same token, there's also it's a motivation for us to try and get back to this again. Obviously we can you can get into Europe through Scottish Cup and performing in a Scottish Cup final at times, or you do it through your league. And we're not too far away from a lot of teams, you know. And nobody likes to look at the league table at the minute. I'm certainly not looking at it because, but I do think there's an acceptance that there's reasons for it. I think teams are getting us at a good time. Every team we've played, you know, whether it's Motherwell, Aberdeen, St John's, we've all played 2 games before we play these guys. 2 extra games in between their last game, so and it's a good time to get us. There's no doubt about it, and we haven't really coped with the scheduling. But it's important that we try and cope once more on Sunday. Try and find a way to get a positive result for the fans, for ourselves. I think we're all in need of that, and I think getting an international break where we can actually reset. Give the players some downtime. There'll be some players who will need to come in and train, and there's a few players playing catch up. And hopefully, as I say, we can navigate the next run of fixtures. It's mad that after Sunday we only played 2 games in September, where at the minute we're absolutely flat out. The whole club is flat out at the minute. You know, there's been a lot of people working. You know, Greg McEwen and Karen Costello and the admin side who have been absolutely brilliant in terms of making sure everything runs smoothly. But all my staff, girls in the kitchen, Kev, the kit man, everybody's working extremely hard. But we've enjoyed it, and hopefully now we can see it, take a breath after Sunday, hopefully get results Sunday, and then try and set about the task of getting back to this.
Just a bit of focus on tomorrow, obviously transfer deadline day. Can fans expect any activity?
I don't know about expect. I need to speak to Billy and Phyllis and see where we're at. We've obviously got 1 or 2 wee issues. We're like everything else. We've had loads of conversations with agents without being able to push the button on anything at the minute. The budget is the budget. You know, it's the budget's as it was. It's been spent. You know, we've brought a lot of good players back to the club, players that we wanted to bring. I think we've recruited well. We're not getting the full extent and the benefit of that, working week to week at the minute. But like everything else, there's been a few conversations I've had with clubs and agents that I wouldn't mind being able to bring 1 or 2 in, but as it stands, it's no clear that if we're in a position to do that yet.